Hello everyone, my name is Matt Cole, and welcome to another episode of LONESTAR Roundnet Recap and Analysis. This week we're featuring the exciting finals at the Taser Houston Major between Y-Spike Butterfingers and Darkfather, which is a mashup team made up of Grant Laughlin and Rahul Murthy. This finals was an absolutely insane game featuring some of the best players that Texas has to offer, and it ended in a fitting fashion in deep extras in Game 3. Grant was coming off some disappointing losses at the Round Rock Major to Die Up, as we covered in the last episode. Make sure to tune in for that. And the College Station College Series, where he lost to Caleb and myself. But he showed off some great stuff at Utah Nationals, playing with Ryder from California, grabbing a podium spot there. Really impressive result. Rahul is coming to this with some more high confidence after being pushed to the top spot in the Texas Top 100, winning the College Station College Tournament over Nolan Ryan, and also winning the Round Rock Major with Dylan Keene. Butterfingers, their last tournament together was the Wiley Major, where they had to forfeit due to cramps, but they looked great. Garrett played awesome at his last tournament, which was Utah Nationals with Jacob Payer from California. They both played really well at Lone Star Day, but Colton especially was catching fire with his serving and his defense. On the day, Darkfather dropped a game in pool play to Dax from Baylor and Luke Marshall, but they showed strong playing in every other game, ending up with the 2 seed. Butterfingers dropped to Frederick and Ryan Canfield and looked relatively shaky in pool play with very close games with some less experienced teams. They still put out the wins, which gave them the 4 seed. In bracket play, Darkfather tore their way through quarterfinals before winning a very hard-fought 3-game semifinals over Josh Weinbach from UT and Luca Bowery. Butterfingers, on the other hand, crushed in round 16. They dropped a game in quarterfinals before cleaning up their game and taking Caleb and Brad in game 2 and 3, and then winning a very close semifinals over Proud Fathers, where they began to show some of their highlight-worthy plays with Colton's serves and Garrett's defense. With only these 2 teams left standing, all there was left to do was to play the action-packed finals that everyone was excited for. In Game 1, it was a really close game with great setting and hitting on display from both teams. After holding at 14s, Colton does a step-out Fuego serve that takes Rahul a little bit by surprise, giving Butterfingers a slight lead in this game.
At 16-17, if everything holds to the end of the game, Butterfingers is going to win 21-19. But then Grant puts on a huge left-hand serve, which takes an ace, and then after a hitting error on 2 from Colton, they're back in the driver's seat, up a half break.
While Colton was not happy with himself, he definitely made up for it, taking an ace on Grant shortly after, putting them back in the lead. At game point, Garrett puts on a great serve that went a little bit farther than Grant was expecting it to. His feet were just not ready to adjust for the cut, and Rahul wasn't able to get there, giving Butterfingers the first game. Game 1 was a big one for Garrett Hornock. He put up a Roundnet player rating of 104.6. You can see that he has a 100% put away percentage, and he also kept putting on his serves and generating breaks, which really all you can ask for from a Roundnet player. Right at the start of Game 2, both teams were putting on really great reverse cuts and generating aces with them, putting them too far to the left hand of the receiver for them to be able to receive it in time.
At 11-12, Darkfather is up 1.5 breaks, and they're able to hold because Grant makes this great play on the set, diving over the net, showing great net awareness and athletic ability to put the ball back where Rahul can hit it. This is a big moment in the game, because if Butterfingers had taken this point, they would have been back within a half break of Darkfather, but instead, because Darkfather was able to hold, they stopped the momentum that Butterfingers had and are able to keep the breaks that eventually give them the game.
And then Rahul takes advantage of this great play with an ace immediately after. At 17-14, we see another great recovery set, this time from Butterfingers. However, despite this great set, Darkfather had taken just a few too many breaks before this, and they were able to clean it up. And at game point, Garrett put on a drop serve, and it was a simple 1-2-3 for Grant and Rahul to then take the game 21-18. So the stats here in Game 2 really show the differences here. Darkfather put on more serves and generated more aces, whereas Butterfingers were only able to generate 1 ace and put on less serves. If they want to take Game 3, Butterfingers is going to have to turn this up and limit the amount of aces that Darkfather has. Tied at 6s, Butterfingers choose to play a serve from Grant that lips up really big, but Grant and Rahul make a great rotation that allows Grant to get a defensive touch with his knee, and then he makes a smart shot selection, putting a sky ball over Garrett's body defense. Shortly after that, Grant puts on a step-out cut serve that seems almost impossible to receive looking back at it. Then throughout the game, Darkfather gradually extends their lead with a drop ace from Rahul and another ace from Grant. Y-Spike Butterfingers decides to get some momentum back, with Colton taking an ace and Garrett taking a reverse cut ace.
Before these aces, they were completely out of the game, but with these breaks, very late in the game, they were actually within striking distance.
Then Garrett puts on a serve that Grant calls side pocket, but after some discussion, the observers decide to call it clean, and this puts Butterfingers one step closer to making this comeback. On game point, there's a beautiful set from Colton and a nice lefty flick from Garrett to then get the hold that they needed on game point. Then we get to 1920 Butterfinger serving at Darkfather's game point. Colton puts on a good serve here, and when Grant goes to hit after Rahul's set, he has two main options. He can either do the big sky ball that he's been choosing for a lot of this series, or he can do a drop kind of flick shot. Colton and Garrett instinctively move to these shots, with Colton taking off to go get the sky ball and Garrett moving around the net to cover anything short. Grant then chooses the sky ball, Colton digs it, Garrett gives him a great set, and Colton comes in with the sliding drop to get the clutch defensive break, bringing it to 2020.
And after Colton puts on that sliding drop shot, this completed the comeback and brought it to extras. You can see Rahul's frustration. He takes it out on the net because not only did they give up this 1 point, even though this point was pretty awesome, but this point completed a huge comeback for Y-Spike Butterfingers, bringing them back from 5-point deficit to now being even in extras.
Then in extras, Colton hits a beautiful reverse cut to put them in a position to actually win if they just get one more break. Butterfinger serving for the game. Garrett puts on a good serve and gets an extremely impressive defensive up that Colton gets a really nice recovery set back to the net, and unfortunately Garrett cannot put it away, throwing away this chance to close out the game and close out the series. After some more back and forth through extras, Darkfather is up 36-35. Grant puts on a serve that goes by Garrett. They look for a lip call, but the observers rule it clean, and Darkfather takes the series 37-35, also giving them the title of the Houston Major. In Game 3, Grant Laughlin had an excellent game with a player rating of 120, taking 5 aces, making a strong set, and putting away most of his hits. This was an excellent performance from him and really showed why he is one of the best in Texas. The final scores were 21-19 to Butterfingers taking Game 1, and then Darkfather took Game 2 and 3 with scores of 21-18 and 37-35, which gave them the Houston Major title. Thank you everyone for watching this episode of the Lone Star Roundnet Recap and Analysis series. Make sure to subscribe and tune in for more videos like this in the future.
Come on!